Welcome to Voices from the Abyss. Every week, we descend into another story where the water is dark, the silence is heavy, and not everything waiting beneath the surface has stayed there. So turn the lights down, get on your flippers, and if you enjoy stories that make you afraid to get into the bathtub, don't forget to follow. And if there's a fear, a legend, or a deep-sea nightmare you'd like to hear brought to life, leave it in the comments. You never know. Your idea might be the next one to rise from the depths. Now, take a deep breath. We're going under. Challenger Deep, the deepest known point on Earth. A place of absolute darkness, crushing pressure, and a world humanity has barely begun to understand. For Captain Wyatt McCree and his crew, reaching it represents the culmination of years of preparation and a chance to stand somewhere no human ever has. Tonight, they're going to the bottom of the world, and they're about to discover that some achievements come with a price no one thought to calculate. Tonight's story is The Weight Above Us. It started with laughter.
Tell me again why we need 3 cameras pointed at my face?
Dr. Lena Vale didn't look up from her console. Historical documentation.
Bullshit.
Scientific documentation.
Still bullshit.
From behind them came the metallic clatter of a wrench striking the desk. Eli Rourke, the submersible's systems engineer, emerged from beneath the life support panel. It's because if we implode, they want 3 different angles. Wyatt turned slowly toward him.
Did anyone ever tell you that seamen are extremely superstitious?
Eli and Lena made eye contact immediately, and as if on cue, burst into laughter.
Okay, children, can we go back to making history?
Wyatt suppressed a chuckle of his own and turned away from the 2 hyenas with a smirk. Outside their viewport, the ocean wasn't just dark. It was heavy, as if the water had turned to liquid ink, pressing hard against the glass. The high-powered external floodlights cut a fragile, milky beam into the void, illuminating nothing but a slow-motion blizzard of marine snow. Past that narrow cylinder of white, the abyss swallowed everything else whole, leaving the crew with the feeling that they were staring into the back of a closed eyelid. Above them, nearly 11,000 meters of ocean. Below them, 43 meters. 40. The laughter stopped. Eli leaned forward. Wyatt rested one hand against the control column.
30.
They watched the numbers descend. 20. 10. 5. And then 0. A faint tremor moved through the hull as the landing skids settled into the gray sediment. Nobody spoke. For several seconds, The three of them simply stared through the viewport. Then Lena whispered, "We made it." Wyatt looked at her, then Eli. A grin spread across his face.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he reached up and tapped the ceiling.
Welcome to the bottom of the fucking world.
For the next 2 hours, they were kids in a candy shop. They photographed everything, sampled sediment, logged temperature, mapped terrain no human being had ever seen. Lena narrated observations faster than the recorder could timestamp them. Eli complained about every piece of equipment while simultaneously treating each instrument like his firstborn child. And Wyatt kept them laughing. At 14:17 mission time, Lena discovered a translucent amphipod and declared it beautiful. Wyatt declared it an underwater cockroach. At 14:31, Eli named a rock Gerald. At 14:42, Captain Wyatt officially entered Gerald into the expedition log as a valued member of the crew. And at 15:03, something moved out beyond the lights. Lena was the first to notice it. Wait. Wyatt looked over.
What?
There. They stared through the viewport, but there was nothing.
Where?
Left edge of the beam. Eli leaned closer. I don't see anything. It moved. Fish? At this depth? Eli shrugged. You're the scientist. Lena ignored him. Wyatt watched the darkness. For a moment, nothing happened. But then, far beyond the reach of their lamps, a pale blue light appeared. It started as one, then slowly became several. They weren't bright. They were soft, almost delicate. 3 blue lights suspended in the black. Eli stopped smiling. What the hell is that? Lena moved toward the glass. I don't know. The lights disappeared. Wyatt waited. Then just as quickly, they appeared again. Closer. Lena whispered, "Oh my God." Wyatt reached for the maneuvering controls.
Okay, that's enough science for today.
Wait.
Nope.
Captain.
Whatever that is has survived down here for considerably longer than we have, which makes this its neighborhood.
He powered the thrusters.
We're the weird guys parked outside its house.
Eli nodded. Finally, a captain with common sense. Lena was still staring through the glass. Curiosity briefly overcame caution. She reached for the exterior light controls.
Lena!
Just 1 second. She switched the floodlights off. Then on. Off. On. A pause. Then once more, 2 flashes, a pause, 1 flash. Wyatt stared at her.
Did you just blink at the sea monster?
I'm testing a response.
You flirt like this often?
Shut up. Eli snorted. Nothing happened. Lena waited. Then something enormous passed beyond the light. A shape so large that for 5 seconds, the darkness itself seemed to move. Nobody spoke. Wyatt's hand tightened around the controls.
Yeah.
He swallowed.
We're leaving.
The ballast released. The ascent thrusters engaged. The engines hummed. But the submersible did not move. Wyatt frowned.
Eli?
On it. Eli was already at his console. Thrusters are normal.
Ballast?
Released.
Then why are we still sitting here?
I don't know. Wyatt increased power. The hull vibrated. Sediment erupted outside of the viewport. Their depth reading changed. 10,924 meters. 10,923 meters. Then 10,924. They settled back onto the seabed. There was silence.
Eli,
I know.
tell me something useful.
I'm working on it. Eli ripped open the systems panel. Lena looked between them. What's happening? Nobody answered. Eli. He stopped. His eyes moved rapidly across the diagnostic display. Then he looked toward another readout. And another. Something changed in his face. Run the port syntactic reading again. Lena turned toward the console. What? Port syntactic. Run it. She did. Eli stared at the result. No. Wyatt looked at him.
What?
Eli didn't answer.
Eli.
He pulled up the descent telemetry. Pressure, hull strain, displacement, trim. And then he found it. A deviation so small, it had been lost among thousands of other readings during descent. He whispered, Jesus Christ.
What?
The syntactic foam. Wyatt stared at him.
In English?
The buoyancy material outside the pressure hull. It's rated for this depth, but... Eli looked at the numbers again. It compressed more than the model predicted.
How much?
Not much. Wyatt gestured around them.
Apparently enough.
Eli nodded slowly. We lost buoyancy on the way down. Lena stared at him. Can it recover? When the pressure drops, yeah. Probably. Wyatt glanced at the depth gauge.
But we have to get up first.
Eli didn't answer. Wyatt understood. The submersible hadn't been too heavy when they launched. It hadn't been too heavy during the tests. Every calculation had worked. Every simulation had said they could come home. But the simulations had been wrong about one thing. What kind of effect 11 kilometers of ocean would have on the submersible? Wyatt looked through the viewport at the endless black.
So we're too heavy.
Eli nodded.
Down here?
Down here. 4 hours later, nobody was laughing. They had tried everything. Emergency ballast, trim adjustments, thruster combinations, battery rerouting. They even dumped scientific equipment through the external release system. Sample containers, manipulator tools, external cameras. Anything they could afford to lose. Thousands of kilograms discarded into the abyss. But it wasn't enough. They managed to rise 26 meters, then sank again. Life support remaining 9 hours. Eli was still working. Panels covered the floor. Tools littered the space between his knees, and sweat ran down his face. There's something. Wyatt sat beside him.
What?
If I can override the vertical thrusters...
You said that 2 hours ago.
This is different.
How?
Eli didn't answer. Wyatt watched him.
Eli.
I can fix this.
Okay.
I can.
I know.
Stop saying it like that.
Like what?
Like you're fucking humoring me. Wyatt went quiet. Eli's hands were shaking. I can fix this. This time, Wyatt didn't answer. Across the cabin, Lena sat beside the viewport, watching the blue lights. They had returned an hour ago. Even closer now. Sometimes 1, sometimes 5, sometimes dozens. They moved slowly around the submersible, circling, observing. Lena didn't seem to be afraid of them anymore. It's watching us. Eli laughed bitterly. Great. Maybe it has a tow truck. Lena didn't react. I think it knows we're trapped. Eli slammed his wrench onto the desk. Lena, respectfully, I am currently attempting to prevent us from suffocating 11 kilometers beneath the Pacific Ocean. I do not give a shit what the giant glow-in-the-dark squid is thinking. We don't know that it's a squid. Oh, well, thank God we cleared that up.
Enough.
Wyatt hadn't raised his voice. He didn't need to. Both of them stopped. Wyatt looked at Eli, then Lena.
We don't turn on each other.
Eli looked away. Wyatt softened.
Not down here.
Silence returned. Then Lena straightened. Wait. Outside, the blue lights had stopped moving. 3 of them hung before the viewport. 2 pulsed. A pause. Then 1. Lena stared. No. Wyatt turned.
What?
Once again, she turned off the exterior lights. Then on, off, on. A pause. On once more. 2 flashes, a pause, 1 flash. The blue lights vanished. For several seconds, there was nothing. Then, 2 blue pulses, a pause, 1. Eli slowly lowered the wrench in his hand. Wyatt stared through the viewport.
Okay.
He swallowed.
That's unexpected.
5 hours remaining. Eli finally had stopped working. No announcement, no dramatic moment. He just sat down. Wyatt noticed because the constant metallic clinking had stopped. He looked over. Eli was staring at his hands.
What's next?
Eli didn't answer.
Eli?
There isn't a next. Wyatt waited. Eli laughed once. It wasn't amusement. I checked it 4 times. He rubbed his face. 5, actually. Lena turned from the viewport. Eli stared at the open machinery surrounding him. I can't make us lighter. Nobody spoke. I can make the thrusters hotter. I can drain the batteries. I can dump every fucking thing in this cabin that isn't welded down. His voice cracked. But I can't change physics. Wyatt slowly sat beside him. Eli looked at him. I was supposed to get us home. Wyatt shook his head.
That was my job.
Yeah. Eli's eyes were wet. Then do it. Wyatt had no answer. For once, Captain Wyatt McCree had no jokes. He looked toward the controls, then the emergency systems, then the depth gauge, as though somewhere among all those numbers was an order he simply hadn't thought to give yet. Something a better captain would see. A better captain would know what to do. A better captain would get them home. But there was nothing. Wyatt finally looked at Eli.
I'm sorry.
Eli's anger disappeared almost instantly. Cap,
I brought you down here.
we all chose to come.
No, I brought you down here.
His voice was quiet.
And I'm going to keep trying until there's nothing I can try that's left.
Eli watched him. Wyatt forced a tired smile.
But if that happens,
He glanced toward Lena, then back to Eli.
you're not going to have to do it alone.
3 hours remaining. They turned off the exterior lamps. Power conservation. The cabin became almost completely dark. And then they saw it. The creature. Not all of it. They would never see all of it. Its body extended beyond the viewport in every direction, faintly illuminated by thousands of tiny blue organs beneath translucent skin. It moved without hurry, without effort. Something that would dwarf a blue whale, perfectly adapted to a world that crushed human machines like empty cans. Lena approached the glass. The creature stopped. One luminous point drifted toward her. She raised her hand. "Hi." Wyatt stared at her.
You're saying hello?
"Yes."
To that?
"Yes."
Just establishing the situation.
Despite everything, Eli laughed. Small, exhausted, but real. Wyatt smiled.
There he is.
Eli shook his head. "Fuck you, Captain."
Fuck you too, Eli. Fuck you too.
And for just 30 seconds, they were themselves again. 1 hour remaining. They talked about home. Not at first. At first, they sat silently. Then Lena mentioned coffee. Real coffee. Not expedition coffee. Eli said he wanted a cheeseburger. Wyatt informed him that choosing a cheeseburger as his final earthly desire demonstrated a catastrophic lack of imagination. Eli told him to go fuck himself.
Can't. Schedule's backed.
Lena laughed so hard, she cried. Then she kept crying. Eventually, Eli did too. Wyatt lasted the longest. He had to. He was the captain, the leader, the protector. He had spent his entire adult life believing that if something went wrong, there would be something he could do. A decision, an order, a sacrifice, something. He'd always imagined that dying for his crew would be easy. If a hatch needed closing, he'd close it. If someone had to stay behind, he'd stay. If his life could purchase theirs, he'd make that trade without hesitation. But the abyss offered no bargains. There was no door to hold shut, no monster to fight, no noble sacrifice that bought 2 seats on a lifeboat. There was nothing heroic to fight down here. No enemy, no villain, just a countdown. And for the first time, Wyatt understood that protecting them no longer meant getting them home. It meant making sure neither of them faced what came next alone. So Wyatt did the only thing left. He reached out, took Eli's hand, then Lena's, and held them. 23 minutes remaining. Something struck the hull. They jumped. Then again. Not violent, A push. The submersible tilted. What's it doing? Lena moved toward the viewport. Blue light filled the cabin. The creature was beneath them. Wyatt stared at the depth gauge. 10,924. Then 10,920. He froze. 10,910? 10,880? Eli lunged toward his console. No fucking way. The submersible was rising. The creature was carrying them. Lena covered her mouth. It knows. Eli activated the vertical thrusters. This time, they climbed. Slowly, painfully, but they climbed. And as the pressure began to fall, the compressed buoyancy material started almost imperceptibly to recover. 10,700, 10,500. Their ascent rate increased. 10,200. For the first time in 12 hours, hope had entered the cabin. Eli laughed. Lena screamed. Wyatt grabbed the controls.
Come on, sweetheart.
9,900. 9,700.
Come on.
The numbers began falling faster. It was working. The creature had lifted them high enough that the submersible was beginning to help itself. Eli stared at the telemetry in disbelief. Captain? Wyatt looked at him. We're buoyant. Lena laughed. Oh my God! We're fucking buoyant! For several glorious seconds, nobody remembered the clock. Then Eli looked at the life support monitor. His smile disappeared. Wyatt saw it. He didn't ask. He already knew. They were rising, but not fast enough. Not remotely fast enough. The creature had solved the problem. It had understood. It had saved them. But it was too late. Lena saw Eli's face, then the monitor. Oh. That was all she said. And that single word broke Wyatt's heart. 8 minutes remaining. The creature continued carrying them upward. Wyatt rested against the seat. Eli sat beside him. Lena watched the blue glow through the viewport. Do you think it understands? Lena thought about it. I think it's trying. Wyatt smiled faintly.
Well,
he looked outside.
Can't fault the effort.
Silence. Then Lena said, Wyatt?
Yeah.
I'm scared. He nodded.
Me too.
It was the first time he'd said it. Eli looked at him. Wyatt reached for both of them again.
I'm right here.
The lights dimmed. The oxygen alarm sounded. Wyatt reached over and silenced it.
No.
He shook his head.
We're not listening to that shit.
Eli laughed weakly. Excellent captaining.
Thank you.
5 stars.
Put it in my review.
Lena leaned her head against Wyatt's shoulder. Eli shifted closer on the opposite side. Outside, the blue light surrounded them. Soft, impossible, and beautiful. Lena lifted one trembling hand toward the controls. 2 flashes. A pause. 1. Outside, 2 blue pulses answered. A pause. 1. Wyatt looked at the creature one last time.
You tried, buddy.
His eyes closed.
Thanks.
Hours later, the submersible stopped rising. The thrusters had gone silent. Its batteries were dead. Inside, so was everyone else. For a long time, the creature remained beneath them, waiting, perhaps expecting the strange metal animal to wake. It nudged the hull. Nothing. Again. Nothing. The blue lights along its body pulsed slowly through the black. 2 pulses. A pause. 1. Nothing answered. It waited. Then tried again. 2 pulses. A pause. 1. The metal animal remained dark, silent, still. The creature circled it once, then returned beneath it and pressed gently against the hull. Nothing. One final time. 2 blue pulses. A pause. 1. Nothing. Then, with a warmth that was impossible at this depth, the creature curled itself around the submersible and descended. Past 10,000 meters, past 10,500, past 10,900, back toward the place where it had found them, back into the dark, carrying them with it. And for the first time, since humanity had begun throwing itself into the abyss, something from the abyss carried us back. Not as prey, not as invaders, but perhaps as something it had tried to save. Thank you for listening to Voices from the Abyss. If tonight's story stayed with you, click the follow button to make sure you never miss what surfaces next. Until next time, sleep well, and remember, not every abyss is underwater. Good night.